Hi, in this video we're actually going to be introducing inequalities. Are you ready? Let's begin. Before we actually get started with inequalities, we first have to understand what are inequalities. Inequalities represent symbols such as greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. And they also represent a type of circle. You're going to notice in the future slides, we're going to be working with something called a closed circle, something called an open circle, but inequalities represent some type of greater than or less than type of symbol. So you notice the first one says greater than, more than. These are words you want to associate with these symbols. The second one says less than. Third one says greater than or equal to, meaning that you can be greater than the number or also equal to the number. But you're going to also notice this word right here, at least. That's very important because at least is always going to be used for a greater than equal to symbol. Okay? And the last one, it says less than or equal to, and the word that you want to remember is at most. Okay? Or no more than. Okay? So these vocab words are going to help you when you see paragraph type questions or sentences that want you to illustrate what's being said or asked. All right, you guys ready? Let's begin. Greater than or less than is always going to represent an open circle, no matter what. When we're drawing these on a number line, a greater than or less than is going to have an open circle. A greater than or equal to is going to have a closed circle. So one thing I'm going to kind of remind you all is you definitely want to write this stuff down because vocab words are literally the one reason why students will do well when it comes to the Algebra 1. It's all just muscle memory. What do you remember about this topic? When you see greater than or less than, it's an open circle. Greater than or equal to is technically a closed circle. Okay? So once again, what's that? Open circle, closed circle. Okay? And then we're just going to straight it all the way in. All right, you ready to start the problem? Okay. Graph x is greater than 2 on a number line. So what are we going to do? We're going to draw a number line. I like to put 2 in the middle. I can pick a point less than, a point greater than. That doesn't really matter. And you're going to pick x is greater than 2. So because x is greater than 2, it's a greater than symbol, which means this is going to be an open circle either on top of 2 or on 2. It depends on how you want to do it, how the instructor does it. It doesn't really matter as long as you put a circle on 2 or above it. Now, x is greater than. Think about the numbers greater than 2. Is that 1 or is that 3? Hopefully you agree 3 is bigger than 2. So that means that all the numbers on the right-hand side are going to be part of this inequality. That's it. You're done. Okay. Second one. Y is less than or equal to 2. You see that equal part? Because you see that equal part, it means that you need a closed circle. So what am I going to do? I'm going to go on my number line. I'm going to put 2 in the middle. 1 less than, 1 greater than. 2 is going to be a closed circle, so let's close it up. And then I'm thinking about what is less than, which is going to be to the left. Now there's a trick. You ready for it? If your variable happens to be on the left-hand side, you can make an arrow out of your inequality. So for example, if I make an arrow, which way is it facing? It's facing the left, right? So because of that, that's the reason my arrow is also facing the left. That's a trick. But the variable has to be on the left-hand side. Let's try example 3. Graph negative 3 greater than x. What do you notice? The x is where? On the right-hand side, not on the left-hand side. So what are we going to do? We're just going to rewrite it. We're going to flip it. If I rewrite it, I'm going to read right to left. That says x is less than negative 3. I'm going to flip everything. So I flip the x to now be at first. I flip the inequality instead of greater than is less than, and I flip the negative 3 to be at the back. Once I have that, I can actually draw a number line. I'm going to put negative 3 in the middle. A number less than is negative 4. A number greater than is negative 2. And I'm going to put what type of circle? Open or closed? It's going to be an open. Which way is the arrow facing? Let's do the trick. It's facing the left, which is true. Negative 4 is less than negative 3. And that's my final answer. So hopefully these are okay. We have a few left. I'm going to have you try this one on your own, and then we'll move on. So pause the video and then play, and I'll be right here. Okay, you ready? Graph x is greater or equal to negative 10. X is on the left-hand side. I'm okay with this, so let's draw on a number line. Let's put negative 10 in the middle. What's less than? Negative 11. What's greater than? Negative 9. What kind of circle is this? It's a closed circle. So let's close it up at negative 10. And then which way is the arrow facing? Draw an arrow if it helps you out. It's now facing the right because I'm looking for numbers greater than negative 10. That's it, I'm done. Hopefully you got this right. If not, hopefully you saw where your mistake was, okay? All right, last three examples. You're going to notice what we have. We have words. What's the biggest issue with words? We have to be able to understand what the vocab is so we know what symbol we're going to put. So in this example, it says translate the given expression into an inequality, which is a greater than less than symbol or equal to. So we have to know which one we're working with. A number is greater than 7. So remember, a number, pick your favorite letter, a number. I'm going to pick X. Let's make it X. Is greater than represents what symbol? Hopefully you agree. And then 7 is obviously going to be just 7. So how do I write this? X is greater than 7. That's it. We don't have to graph it because they're just asking us to be able to illustrate it based off inequalities. Not bad? Okay. Let's try example 6. If you want to try this one on your own, once again, pause the video, play it, and we'll see if we get it right. Tori can have no more than 13 people at her party. So we're talking about Tori. She can't have any more, so no more than 13 people. So if we can't have no more than 13 people, that means we have to have less people, right? This is going to represent less than. So it's going to be less than 13. What are we talking about? We're talking about Tori cannot have. So we can either put whatever letter. If you want to put T, if you want to put P for people. But I'm just going to go ahead and put X because we're going to use this letter. So X is less than 13, which represents the amount of people. We need to make sure we have less than 13 people. That's my inequality, and I'm done. Okay? All right, last example. John has to be at least 17 in order to watch a rated R movie. Remember, when we see these type of word problems, think of a real life situation. What does it mean that John has to be at least 17? What does that mean? Is he going to be older than 17? Can he be 17? Can he be less than 17? We're talking about John, so I'm going to use the letter J, and then obviously 17. Because we have to be at least 17, that means we have to be greater than or equal to, because I can be 17 and still see the rated R movie. So how do I write this? John greater than or equal to 17, and that's my inequality. That's why it's very important to understand at least is greater than, at most is less than or equal to. We have to understand these symbols because those are the words that are going to help us associate this perfect inequality. Okay? So hopefully this helped out. Make sure you guys remember these tricks. Make sure you write them down, and best of luck.